Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nation Network. It is time to say the two magic words, game on. Although we almost didn't get to say those two words. So as you can probably tell by the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Microsoft Windows. They suck. Recent update actually turned off my Elgato. Didn't have a clue. And I'm trying to figure out for hours what in the heck is going on with it. A lot of time was spent on this. I've got my Elgato. It goes out to two things. It goes out to the TV so I can watch on my bigger monitor, and then I've got it going into the computer so that I can stream it on OBS. It's been working fine. I hadn't had to do a stream or even a record one for that matter in the last several days since their most recent update. So I did not realize there was an issue. Today I try to get it to work. It's not working. Start doing all the troubleshooting. First thing I do is I switch my PS2 and put that into the Elgato. That works like a champ. The PS1, the PS2, the PS3, everything's working except the PS5. So now I'm checking the HD CP settings to make sure they're off. Nothing was working. So I'm going to show you guys just a little bit of what I've been dealing with here because, and I can't believe I'm even saying this, but give credit where credit is due. ChatGPT is making me think I don't need Geek Squad anymore. It's a real thing. So let me see here. Pull this up here. And I'm going to go away here for a second. All right, so here's what we ended up doing. But before we get there, let's go through the ChatGPT stuff here. This is the shorter portion of it. This is when we kind of narrowed down what the real problem was. But as it says here, guessing recent Windows update is the problem. So it started with immediately after the update. I strongly suspect the USB 30 driver corruption, Windows camera privacy toggle, power management reset. Now, I'd already shut down the computer, shut down the PlayStation 5, unplugged them both for a minute and a half. And again, everything else was working. The camera was working. Everything else was working. I even replaced the HDMI cable from the PS5 into the Elgato, and that didn't fix anything. And mind you, it was working fine on the monitors, just not going into the OBS. So once I started following some of these prompts, I got here to the device manager screen, went down here to the sound, video, and game controller section, and here it says Game Capture HD 60S, which it was not recognizing. It wasn't finding it on the computer at all, and it also wasn't finding it in OBS. Obviously, if it's not in the computer, how's OBS going to pull it up? Well, when I went there, it was deactivated. So I had to go in and manually activate it again. And then it was all fine. What the fuck, Windows? Microsoft, Bill Gates, you cocksucker. What the fuck is wrong with you people turning people's shit off? So the last thing I did down here that was recommended to prevent this from happening again in the future, basically go to your device manager, go to Universal Serial Bus Controllers, and then for each root hub, uncheck the box where it says we can turn it off to save power. Fuck you. Don't let them do it to you. So this is what worked for me. If you're having the same problem, and again, it's weird to me that it only happened with the PS5. That's the part that doesn't still make sense to me. Why was that not working and everything else going through was because I had to turn the OBS back on. Well, they were all going through OBS. They were all working. Just the PS5 wasn't working. That is by far the most backwards ass thing that I have encountered, which is saying a lot when it comes to Windows. I've never had that type of experience before. So hopefully you guys aren't either. But if you do, maybe this video will help you the way it did me and save you a lot of time because, man, that was a ton of time spent on something stupid because In a million years, I wouldn't have imagined that happening. All right, that's all I got for this one. This was a special crash course edition of Game On because I want y'all to be able to play your games and to stream your games. I want to be able to stream my shit. And now, again, I can. And again, thanks to ChatGPT. Who'd have thunk it, right? All right, with that said, make sure you find time each and every day to say the 2 magic words.
Okay! Game on! 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 Yeah, game on!
But the night's so wild, you're sitting here like a reckless child. Our keep buzzing electric fire, chasing scores higher, higher.